good morning to everybody in the US, or good afternoon, or good evening to people around the world or wherever you are from. So, today's topic is how the EBS upgrades are not out of fashion and they're still in fashion, and how you can maintain compliance until 2032 by upgrading your EBS system. So, before I start, let me give a brief introduction about NexInfo. So, NexInfo is a consulting company for both small and large companies across diverse range of industries. We are a global company with the ability to provide service across Europe and US. We have opened up for business in 1999. We have been an industry leaders for 22 years with a wealth of knowledge and experience in software consulting services such as business process design, software implementations, SaaS solutions, and business analytics. Our domain expertise is across all Oracle products. We are a certified Oracle partner and have partnership with Microsoft, SAP, Vanguard, and RFGen. NexInfo has been recognized by many firms such as Gartner and other industry forums. We have received many accolades from Silicon Review, CIO Review, Inc. 500, and much more. Now, let me give a brief introduction about myself. My name is again Rahul Phatak. I'm the Oracle ERP and Cloud Practice Lead here at NexInfo. I have 20 plus years of industry experience, and my specialization is business transformation projects, process and solution design, program management, and change management. I have extensive experience on the ERP side, both in the finance and supply chain domains as well as HCM. I am a certified specialist and I have experience in transformation engagements, EBS upgrades. I have recommended best practices to many of the clients and implemented business optimization initiative for enterprise customers across various industry domains. Now, let's look what are we going to look at today. So today we are going to walk through a life cycle of EBS upgrades. We are going to look at the drivers, why you would upgrade your EBS systems. The second, we will look at a typical concerns organization face when they consider an EBS upgrade. Number 3 would be what are typical upgrade challenges people face, then the benefits of the EBS upgrade, and then I will walk through to an upgrade process, and then I will open the floor for the question and answers. So just for all of you, please stick through the whole end of the webinar. So we have a special offer at the end. And then before I start, I just want to get a feel of the audience. So I would like to have a poll to just see on what systems you are. So Hannah, can you please start the poll? And it will be open for 30 seconds. If you guys can take a quick minute or a few seconds to just respond to that, it would be great. I'll keep the poll open for next 30 seconds. All right, thank you. Thanks for responses. All right, so now that you have responded, I see that most of you are on like the EBS 12.13. A few are still on the old version, which is 11i, and then few of you are from other ERP systems. So now let's look at the drivers first. So why you should upgrade your EBS systems? For 3 simple reasons. Oracle is ending support and pulling plug on the 12.13. The support is going to end on December 2021 this year. The only way you would get new EBS functionality and innovation is via the 12.2 upgrade. And with 12.2, you get a feature called online patching, which will let you allow and adopt your new features and innovations even faster. Now, this is the slide where is the picture which highlights some of the customer inquiries as well as the upgrade projects we have done for the EBS. So 22% of the inquiries are on 11i, and as we all know, 11i is out of support and it's out of compliance right now, and possibly the support is outsourced to some third-party vendors for the software. 78% of the inquiries and the upgrades which we do come on like EBS 12.13, and the support is slated to end in 2021 this year. You guys are still in compliance, but as we all know, the support is ending soon. And then you need to upgrade to EBS 12.2, wherein you will get the support till 2032, and you will have access to all the latest features and all the security updates, and you will be compliant till December 2032. Now let's look at the EBS 12.2 release and support timeline. You can obtain this information from my Oracle support, but I have included here for your reference. So this is the EBS 12.2 evolution roadmap. So as you can see, EBS 12.2 was first released in September 2013. And then the second version 12.3 was released again in December that year. And after that, for each year, you would see there's a pattern. A new release has been released each year. So in 2019, the 12.2.9 was there, and in last September, Oracle released 12.2.10. And for that, the support will be there till 2032. So we are expecting another release 12.2.11 in this upcoming year. So a lot of questions come around like, should we go and upgrade to the latest and greatest release which is present in the market, or should we do like a upgrade to a version prior to that? So my simple recommendation is always go to the latest and greatest. People think that the version earlier might be stable a little bit from the performance perspective and some other perspectives, but the recommendation is to go to the latest and greatest because it has fixed all the bugs and all other issues reported on the previous version, and it can include more other features as well. Now, let's look at the top 3 upgrade concerns which organizations face when they consider upgrade. Number 1, they had a recent EBS implementation. So a recent EBS implementation which was resulted in an unwillingness to invest time and money for yet another migrations. Organizations sometimes think that upgrading can be another installation or a migration, which is not the case, but that's one of the common objection or a concern. People are also thinking now moving to the cloud. So the business leaders wanting to move to the cloud yet, but are not comfortable with the cloud data model due to the data security and the privacy concerns. The third, they have a heavily customized EBS system, an organization system which might be tailored to suit their business needs so well that they do not want to cause a disruption. So they have a lot of CAMLIs, a lot of extensions, and they think that pretty much all their processes are customized and the upgrade would cause disruption, but that's not the case. Now there are sophisticated tools available which can streamline and retrofit all your customizations. Another concern is considering the cloud. So let me address this one. So these are top concerns for organizations who are thinking of moving to the cloud but are not able to make a decision, and they think that going to the Fusion SaaS model would be another re-implementation. So what options do we have? Do you want to go to the EBS 12.2 cloud? So you can still do an upgrade. The options pretty much the first one would be you stay on EBS 12.1 and pay premium for support. And as we said earlier, the support ends this year, but then you can talk to Oracle and possibly ask for extension, but that's the conversation you will need to have with Oracle. The second being upgrade to EBS 12.2 and keep it on premise. So you have your 12.1.3 version on-prem, you upgrade to 12.2 and you can keep it on premise. Third option would be you can upgrade to EBS 12.2 and move slowly to the cloud infrastructure. So what I mean by that, so you can still upgrade, keep your EBS on-prem, and your supporting applications or your ecosystem applications, you can move them slowly, lift and shift them into the cloud, and then eventually move your EBS to the cloud as well. The fourth one, maybe the important one, you can upgrade your EBS to 12.2 and add functionality via Oracle Cloud SaaS. So for example, you can implement the Fusion Accounting Hub, which is a cloud product. You can implement the EPM in the cloud. You can implement risk management cloud, maintenance cloud, and so on. And then you can tightly integrate them to EBS 12.2 via the Oracle Integration Cloud. So that's again a cloud service. So there are possible options for this model. because Oracle, as we all know, is continuing innovation in the cloud, and some of the cloud products are beginning to mature, and they are mature. The fifth option would be you upgrade and lift and shift your on-prem Oracle EBS to Oracle infrastructure. So you can just move your EBS and put it on IaaS so that you do not have to maintain your servers and on-prem hardware. Now let's take a look at the top benefits of an upgrade. First one, Oracle continues to evolve. The second one is a streamlined installation or a streamlined upgrade. The third being the downtime will be greatly reduced through online patching. Fourth, you will see a lot of technical improvements and new functionality. Fifth, you will have the business value increase through enhancements. Number six would be the intuitive look and feel and rich experience. Last but not the least is more beefed up application security. So now let's look at the first benefit, which Oracle continues to evolve. So over the years, Oracle e-business suite has evolved with the goal being to continue to expand the application functionality, usability, and scalability with an ongoing commitment to reduce the total cost of ownership. So you can position your enterprise to achieve your business goal through leveraging new technology. So another the following benefits which you can see are you get new functionality and technology. You can facilitate regulatory compliance. How can you do that? You can do that at a lower cost. You might have current customizations which can be helping for your regulatory compliance. You can potentially retire those customizations as you will get the modern or the best practices with the new releases. You can incorporate standard processes throughout your enterprise which can come out of the box. You can leverage enhancements for performance and usability purposes and boost the application efficiency. As we all know, you will get highest levels of application support when you are in compliance. You will be eligible for regulatory and tax updates. And then the more last but not least important is you will be readying your business to consider adding cloud functionality to the EBS. So that's the hybrid model which we talked about earlier. Benefit number two would be a streamlined installation. So complexity of installation is thing of the past. So in the past, companies sometimes hesitated to upgrade their enterprise resource planning solutions because of the complexity of the installation of the upgrade process. eBusiness Suite 12.2, however, can be installed on your existing hardware and database servers, significantly streamline the upgrade process. And it can also be added to a real existing or your rack cluster environments. So you will not need any additional hardware. Your configurations and customization retrofit is also streamlined with great tool sets available in the market. Let's look at the upgrade benefit number three, which is wherein your downtime is greatly reduced through online patching. This is probably the biggest one. So now with this new release, you can apply patches to your system while it is still running and fully operational, and while the users are also online. So, and the users can remain online during the patching operations. This can be especially useful when you are in a manufacturing or a 24/7 operation. The only downtime you will require is during the restart of the tier services, and that process will take minutes, not hours, as it used to take in the past. So, and one thing to keep in mind, even through the restart, your database always remain open, and then you can plan this activity of the restart outside of a business hours, and online patching eliminates the need of the maintenance mode. So basically, and I'm in the slides coming up, I'm going to show you how Oracle is achieving this through the online patching. Next one is benefit number four, wherein your business value is increased through enhancements. So with the release 12.2.4, what Oracle has released is enterprise command centers, which are role-based business intelligence dashboards with information given navigation by job function. So herein I am showing you a screenshot of the requisitions. So what it will do is basically it's a dashboard, and it is analytics which are driven by the actual data. So this will allow you for browsing and drilling into actionable indicators and near real-time data using tools and visualizations such as actionable indicators, tag clouds, interactive charts, and consumer-like search and filters. This displays data which is recalculated with each drill. So if you click on something, it is actionable and the data is recalculated. It will facilitate prioritization and enables users to narrow on critical transactions. And as I said earlier, it is available as of release 12.2.4 and higher. This can also potentially eliminate your custom reporting needs. So if you have custom reports built specifically to show dashboards or some other reports which are now available out of the box, you can possibly retire them. The framework is extensible and allows for extending reports and dashboards. This is available at no additional cost to all the licensed users of the EBS, and we recommend that it should be installed on a separate server. So if you can see now, when I click through that, so these pie charts and all, those are all actionable. So you can actually click on the pie chart and it will take your data. And then again, this dashboard can be arranged as per the user. And then the configurations are pretty minimal. So pretty much anybody can do it. Now let's look at some of the benefits. And now these are enhancements applied within the modules of the Oracle EBS. So let's start with the Oracle Financials. So now Oracle Financial allows enterprises to work smarter and more securely, managing global finances from one integrated system. You can integrate a financial application with the Fusion Accounting Hub and Oracle Data Relationship Management, which are the cloud products to boost efficiency, improve automation, and support evolving accounting and reporting compliance requirements. On the Oracle purchasing side, the 12.2 provides the most effective procure-to-pay cycle automation available, allowing enterprises to boost supply-based management and nimbly adapt purchasing practices and more thanks to improved integration and embedded best practices. On the Oracle supplier lifecycle management, this will allow companies to make smarter supplier decisions with streamlined registration and review processes, high visibility, cross-functional performance evaluations, risk mitigations, effective supplier governance, and much more. On the Oracle order management, the e-business suite 12.2 provides the most effective procure-to-pay cycle and then allowing enterprises to do supply-based management. And on the order management side, they have also include the Oracle configurator side. So you can create service orders, contact orders from the order management, which can be integrated to the other applications. So these were some of the few benefits on the application side. And then you can go to the Oracle documentation, and there's a separate document which will list out all the uh, features and functionality by each module. So these were to just name a few. The fifth benefit of upgrade is technical improvements. So this is for all the techies and DBAs and analysts out there. So what has changed? The Oracle application server is now replaced with the Oracle WebLogic server. So the WebLogic would create the hybrid applications through the use of OAF ADF and optimizes the clustering performance. With WebLogic, there's a reduced role for autoconfig. So autoconfig is a process which the DBS typically run after the patching cycles. So now the role is a little bit reduced in the configuration of the HTTP server, the OA core, the OAFM, the forms, and the forms C4WS services. On the tech stack side, you will be upgrading your tech stack as well. So your JDK and JRE would be upgraded to version 1.x, 1.8.x. The WebLogic will be upgraded to version 10.3.x. The database 19C is an optional upgrade, but I recommend that you do that. The versions like 12.2.9, 12.2.10 are certified with 11G, but database 19C brings in a lot of new features. It's like plug and play database. And now if you're doing an upgrade, I highly recommend that you upgrade database as well if there's a opportunity. On the middleware side, we'll also be getting upgraded to release 11.1.1.9. You will be upgrading your AD patches and TXK Delta 12, and also you will be getting the latest technology code level checker, ETCC patches. So these are some of the technical tech stack improvements you will see when you upgrade your EBS to 12.2. Now let's look at the benefit number 6, which would be the intuitive look, feel, and experience. So now with 12.2, this all icon-based page navigation gives you a new look, feel, and a rich user experience. Users can now click on icon to receive summary of recent notifications. They can scroll through new user interactions. They can detach tables, change the page width, choose the work width, and they can use new widgets to design to improve the productivity. So you can do like sorting, arrange the columns, rearrange the columns, all those things you can do in the new look and feel. And as I highlighted earlier, you can also get a new dashboard for reporting with the implementation of the Oracle Command Center. By the way, Oracle Command Center doesn't come on its own. You still need to do some configurations in order to enable that. Last but not the least, application security. So these days, security is much of the concern. So in 12.13 or the previous versions, we all know, all the techies and developers out there, and in a DBA team, application passwords can be decrypted by non-compliant codes. You can write, you can basically from the environment variables, you can get your app's password and display that. So that's no more the case, and then benefit from the enhanced network security. So these days, like as we all know, ransomware attacks, all these are going on. So many companies have identified that hacking and intrusions into a network need to be blocked at multiple levels. Applications with unencrypted passwords typically pose major risk to the security of the entire network. So the best practices in enterprise security architecture call for each of the application in the network to be secure so that the other applications continue to remain secure. So what I mean by that is like a structure of a building. So all the pillars need to be strong for the building to remain strong. So with EBS, if you have like applications like iProcurement, iSupplier, or you're doing EDI, opening of FTP connections. So if there is a communication with the outside world, we need to make sure that the EBS is secure. So that's why it's highly recommended that you migrate to 12.2 to get the enhanced security. With that, what you will get a secure configuration console. You can block your JSPs by allow JSP feature, which is there in EBS 12.2. Now, after looking at the upgrade benefits, let's take a look at the typical upgrade challenges organizations face when they do or consider an upgrade. The first one and the foremost being the architecture change. So there is a change in architecture as well as some new functionalities which are released with that. And also the most important is the online patching capabilities. Organizations have a lot of customizations, CAMLIs. CAMLIs is nothing but an acronym for configurations, extensions, modifications, localizations, and integrations. So people have them and they worry how will the CAMLIs be impacted when you upgrade your EBS systems. A lot of organizations are still running on older database versions and older hardware and older OS. So that becomes a challenge when considering an upgrade. And then there are inadequate analysis tools. Oracle provides ADZ and GSS script, but then as I said earlier, they are free and out of the box and they have some limitations. So in the upcoming slides, let's go through the upgrade challenges. So the first challenge, this is the architecture challenge. So as you can see, the architecture has been changed and now you have two file systems, especially to support the online patching. I'll touch that up on a little bit. So with the introduction of WebLogic, what has happened is it may actually consider, or it may allow, or it may ask you to improve your CPU and RAM sizes. So there's Oracle document available, and then I can put a document set in the chat. But what it describes is based on the number of users, it will recommend the sizing of the CPU as well as the RAM to support the new WebLogic architecture. So that's important, sir. And 70% of the upgrades which we do, we see that the customers may sometimes need to beef up or bump up their CPUs and the RAMs. So that's pretty common. And every single line of code or custom code, if I would say that, which interacts with the database may be affected. So now in the architecture change, you can see like there are two file systems and then there are two database editions. So when the online patching happens, what it does is basically it has two editions. So on the first step, it prepares the patch. So it creates a patch edition. Then there is apply phase where you apply ARU or you can manually apply patches to the patch editions. You finalize. In that, you perform any actions required to prepare for cutover, and the cutover is to promote a patch edition to the new run edition. So the cutover phase is the phase where there is actual minimal downtime. So the patching happens on your patch editions, on your patch file system. When it's time to cutover, this cutover phase is the one when your patch file systems becomes your run file system. And after the cutover is complete, there's a cleanup phase which actually removes the obsolete code and data from the old editions. So that's a brief description of how the new online patching works and saves you from your downtime. The next challenge is the customizations, and I have taken this slide from a tool provider, Panaya. So basically, the understanding is the more customized your EBS, the longer it will take to upgrade. So on the x-axis, you will see how customized your EBS is, and on the y-axis, you will see the number of months it would take to upgrade your EBS. So if you have a little or minimal customizations, potentially you can finish your upgrade in less than 4 months, right? So if you're a medium-sized customized company, so your upgrade project can run from 6 to 7 months up to 8 months. And if you're heavily customized, the upgrade project can run for almost a year or more than that. But the sweet spot, what I've seen based on my experience of doing the upgrades, typically it's 6 to 9 months, depending however large the company is. So because the upgrade process is so much improved, so now I would comfortably can say that your upgrade project should not last more than 8 to 9 months. Let's look at another challenge, which is that hardware and database version. So people are running older hardwares and older databases. So if you are a 1213 customer, most likely you're running database 11G. So the first question you will see is, should I consider a database upgrade? Yes or no? My preference is yes, but just keep in mind that if you decide to upgrade a database, it will add additional downtime during the upgrade. The new database 12C is a plug and play database. Again, it will involve additional testing in all your test cycles with all your boundary system applications or any other applications who is dependent on the data from the EBS database. So most possibly your TNS names and all those things can change, but then there are smarter ways to avoid doing that change as well. So do you have old hardware and OS? So the other question is, should we consider upgrading that? So we always recommend that there's Oracle compatibility matrix for hardware and OS considerations. So always check that. So there's a compatibility matrix, there's a document for that. You refer to your OS version, so it will tell you if the OS is certified for the new database as well. Again, if you decide to take advantage of upgrade and upgrade your hardware and OS, that may also add into additional downtime and testing efforts. But then you can do it a little bit smartly, that you can do your hardware upgrade or your OS upgrade a weekend prior to the actual application upgrade, so that you can do a split downtime. But that may not be feasible for all the companies, but that's an option. So you can actually split your hardware OS and database upgrade and your actual application upgrade. So those were the challenges and then inputs on how hardware and database version change can possibly impact your upgrade. The next challenge is inadequate analysis tools. So Oracle provides out of the box ADZ and GACC scripts. So ADZ scripts are nothing but there's a tool set which Oracle provides for mainly the database related, and the GSCC scripts are run to make sure that your code is compliant with the upgrade. So there are pros and cons for these products. So let's look at them. So pros are they're free and they're data rich. So they will identify all the objects in the database which will require some retrofit because of the version change. And then the two things happening. First is because of the actual version change, so the objects may be different, the API calls may be different. And the second thing is now everything is edition based, so it will identify all your non-compliant codes and ask them to change it so that they are compatible with the edition database version. On the con side, so you get a partial coverage of risk. So what I mean by that, the GSS script typically look at all the objects in the database. So all the views, packages, triggers, all of those things which are in database, this script will look at that. It won't look at your file systems, your reports, and it won't identify all of those things. So that's your responsibility to identify the impacts. So that's why I say it's partial coverage of the risk. They will point out the problem, but then they won't give you a solution. So they are unactionable. So most of them are unactionable. And sometimes they raise false alarms and slow to process because now you know what the problem is. Now you have to go and look at other technical documents to see what the potential remediation process might be. So that's why we recommend third-party products for chemical analysis. I've used both of them in my experience, Pana and Config Snapshot, and we have a partnership with Config Snapshot right now. The other big challenge. So why engage a partner? So all the organizations which have EBS potentially have an in-house EBS development or support team, right, or a business analyst. So they have a DBA team, they have the IT team, they have function analysts. So they think that should we conduct the upgrade in-house or engage a partner like NexInfo? And I'm also going to touch upon what's my recommendation in the reality. So now let's look at the first point. When the companies think that should we do it in-house. So organizations, as I said earlier, have in-house IT teams. There are costs involved with engaging a partner. They also think that will there be a learning curve for the partner to come up to the speed with the landscape and our environment. But the reality is the in-house IT teams, even though they are champions and are subject matter experts, sometimes lack the necessary skills to conduct the upgrade. The upgrade project may run longer as there might be a learning curve in that process. The in-house IT teams may not be able to leverage the new functionality which comes with the part of the upgrade due to the lack of the knowledge. Partners can bring in experience, tools, and expertise in conducting an upgrade. Also, other big thing is there's 100% commitment required from the IT team on the upgrade project for it to be successful. As we all know, the in-house IT teams have their day jobs and also have the competing priorities on other projects, so they cannot devote most of their time to the upgrade. Partners like us can leverage additional resources as required, and to be honest, we do not need a thorough knowledge transfer of your ecosystem because the upgrade is more technical in nature, and our analysts can partner with the business teams to conduct all the necessary business testing and all the understanding of the business processes, and they can make sure that they work with the SMEs to make sure all the business processes are tested end to end. Having said that, now let's look at the project objectives. So we have looked at the benefits, we looked at the challenges. Now once you decide it's time to do an upgrade, this can be the project objectives. So the first objective is maintain support. So we have to keep the vendor support for critical business platform, which is a Oracle e-business suite. The current e-business suite 12.13 application is at end of life, and Oracle will cease providing support after December 2021. And as of now, as of today, the new 12.2.10 is expected support through 2032. The other thing which organizations can take is improve platform. So that can be also one of the project objectives. So you can take advantage of select functional and technical improvements that Oracle provides in the release, or you can limit your changes to those required by Oracle to move to a new release. So what I mean by that, with each upgrade comes a mandatory functionality. You will need to implement those in order to perform your upgrade. Or you can implement new functionality provided by new release. But just keep in mind, if you try to implement new modules or new functionality, it will add into a testing cycle as well as may potentially lengthen your upgrade project timeline. So most of you must have known through this process, but this is our recommended upgrade instance plan. So we at least recommend 3 cycles, or I would say 4 cycles before you actually do a production upgrade. So the first cycle is like a DBA cycle or a dev cycle, and it will be used to create your sandbox or dev environment. For that, what we recommend is you take your latest clone of your production, upgrade that to your 12.2 version, and that should become your development or sandbox instance. On this instance, you can start your retrofit activity, and then you can migrate those to the later instances. Once you have gone through like a major so once you start your retrofit activity, you identify all your objects like high, major, medium, or low, depending on the business process impact, and then you can start the retrofit as per the priority. Once the dev cycle is done, you can move into the CRP. The process for upgrade will still be the same. You will take your existing clone of production, upgrade it to the 12.2 release, and that would become your CRP instance. So in that, you would be testing your major processes along with the super users. Once those are tested, and because the customizations are not yet done, so you will be still be retrofitting, and you will be moving your customizations from dev to the CRP. Once all the customizations and related to your major business process are retrofitted, you can do an SIT, which is the system integration testing, wherein you can test all your end-to-end business processes. Once that is done, you can go to the UAT phase. The process of upgrade will still be the same. You will get a clone of your production, upgrade to 12.2, and then you will do your UAT year, wherein you are all the business users will participate, even the end users will participate, and you will do a thorough end-to-end testing. Once the UAT sign off, you will go to production, and then you upgrade your existing production server with the 12.2. And depending on your SDLC requirements, you can create a clones to support your UAT and dev and test efforts. So I want to talk to you on how you identify and analyze customizations and retrofit them. So with the tool set provided by, either you can do it in-house, but I don't recommend that, or use a third-party product. So the first thing you would do is run the customization report. So you deploy the tool, it will identify all your customizations which may require retrofit. So it will look at non-threaded configurations with SQL. It is going to look at all the database objects, concurrent programs, forms, reports, packages, triggers, etc. So it will look at everything. So you will run the customization impact analysis. So it will look at database data, and also it can look at all your file system objects. So if you have multiple servers wherein you have your objects which are used in EBS application, you can just copy them into one directory and have your process look at that directory so that it looks in just one place, and also simultaneously looks at your database. Once the process is run, it will do like a summary level impact. It will list the impact by customizations. It will list the impact of affected objects and also all the code level impacts. Then your development team or technical team will do the code fix, will do the retrofit and do unit testing, and then deploy them to the dev, CRP, and UAT iterations. And then that's the way you can also track them in your project plan of how many the customizations need to be retrofitted, and how many are more to go. So this is a very effective tool to identify and retrofit your customizations. This little bit slide is a little bit bigger, but I'm going to touch upon the recommended project phases. So as we all know, we recommend at least 4 phases. First is solution build, solution test, the UAT, and the actual production upgrade. And each phase has its own objectives, activities, and outcome. The build phase mainly is your first build, and then that will be your dev instance. So that will be used for your first and second iterations. You will enable all the mandatory new functionality. You will start retrofitting your customizations. You will do some unit testing, and the outcome will be that will be a DBA test cycle and give you a baseline of a cutover time. In the test cycle, you basically test all the in-scope system functions and processes. You will do end-to-end integration testing. You will update your test scripts, create test plans, and basically update your test results as well. And then you can get update documentation. In the UAT phase, basically your end users will have validated the new 12.2 to the system. You will be having access to the updated test scripts, and then you will get a production sign off. The most important thing from this cycle would be you will get your final cutover timings, which can be used to base your cutover plan. In the production upgrade, you will actually upgrade your production systems and make sure that you do some smoke testing. And then the outcome is you have an upgraded production environment to 12.2. And then you go into your production support phase. So let me now highlight some recommended testing activities during the upgrade. So in the solution build phase, this is mainly the vanilla testing of standard business flows. And then this is the first iteration. The CRP and solution testing, this will be testing of all your customized components and testing of your business process end to end within Oracle EBS as well as third-party systems. And if your integrations, you test them at this point. In the UAT system, in the UAT testing, all the users will be involved, and it will be a big test cycle comprised of all the super users, end users, and your IT teams. All the possible business scenarios should be planned and tested by the end users as per the test script which are finalized. On the production upgrade, we recommend doing a production smoke test wherein you validate your upgraded production environment, and the testing should be limited to business process flows in production before the system handover and you declare go live. So we recommend just doing like a small transactions and make sure that your process works end to end. So some of the key roles in the project, which should be you should have your sponsor and steering committee. So their main objective of this sponsors and steering committee would be to resolve any key issues and make key decisions. The PMO team, as we all know, is used for planning, managing team schedules, communications, cross-functional delivery, and successful delivery. And then they're also assisted by the partners, delivery lead, and project manager, and then change management team, as well as you will need to be in touch with your Oracle support for any SRs we need to open for the upgrade. And then you'll be assisted by your tech teams, the DBA teams, and the IT teams, which will primarily drive all your project and execute all the tasks, like creating test scripts, doing retrofits, conducting the business workshop, getting up sign-offs on the UAT and CRP and SRE test cycles, and then actually deploying the code to production as well. Now let me highlight what are the expectations from the core business teams, because a lot of times business thinks that this is the IT only project because it's an upgrade, but it's not. So the business teams should actively participate in the test workshops, and they should represent their respective business functions and divisions. They should be responsible for timely requirements, design and testing and sign off. They should actively participate in planning, ongoing communications and training material development, and they should also give their inputs on the cutover activities and perform the smoke testing. Now, how can we help? So NexInfo has helped many clients with transition from EBS 12.1 to 12.2. We understand that the transform functionality with the new options to implement and explore, and the new features can be daunting even for the most seasoned professionals. NexInfo can ensure that when you transition into EBS 12.2, all your existing functionality will continue to operate as expected, and that you will have ability to leverage your new functionality whether out of the box or we can fit it to your requirement. Now is the perfect time to plan ahead and move to the EBS 12.2. Not only can NexInfo help you with the upgrade, but our team can ease the implementation process with the additional value-add services like organization assessment, introducing best practices, education, and managing change. Myself, I have been living and breathing the EBS upgrade project for the last 20 years, and so is my team. And we have dozens of successful EBS upgrade implementations under our belt. Now that you are armed with the EBS upgrade information, what can you and your organization do to take the next action? So what we are offering as a part of promotion is complimentary assessment of the existing EBS system for the upgrade readiness. Also, we are doing a complimentary Cambly analysis, and a promotion ends on June 30th and is open to the live webinar attendees. If you require further information, you can contact Melody and Doug. Their emails are right here, and as Hannah said, you will get that as a part of your as a deck. So that's our contact information. Thank you for taking time to attend the webinar. I'll open now the floor for questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rahul, for sharing all of this information with us. We do have a couple of questions, and I'll just share a quick reminder to everyone that if you have additional questions, you're welcome to type those in the question box. I'll share the first one in the chat so everyone can also see it. The first question is, does online patching also eliminate downtime with database patches as well?
Yes, that's correct. Online patching eliminates the downtime in database patches. Though you need to do a cutover, but the cutover time will be very minimal. Answer is yes.
Great, nice and easy. The next one is, does the command center need additional licensing?
No, it does not. So if you are an EBS suite, so if you upgrade to 12.2.4, now you will not do 12.2.4, but now with the EBS, you will not need additional licenses.
Great. The next one is, what constitutes a heavily customized system? How many CMLIs?
Okay, so there's no magic number like what constitutes a heavily customized system. But let's say I'm just throwing an example of, let's say, an order to cash cycle. So you have like order line workflow, order header workflow. If your workflow is stopping for a lot of custom things, that constitutes like a heavily customized objects. Or you have like ton of custom forms or custom reports which are dependent for your main business transactions, then we would consider that as a highly customized. So if your business processes are customized with some custom objects, I would consider that as a highly customized environment. And there's no magic number, as I said, right? You can have like tons of views supporting your processes, but I wouldn't consider that as a major customization. So depending on the business process, but let's say if I get a count that is more than 5,000, then yes, I mean, if you want to look by the count, then I would say that's a customized system. But really depends on how much the customizations are used in your end-to-end process flows and how many are there. Does it answer the question, hopefully?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, if you have additional questions, you're welcome to send another to follow up. The next one is, can you please speak more about auto-config reduced role?
So the auto-config reduced role, so now I'm not a DBA, but this is the experience, right? So you have to run auto-configs. Let's say you apply a patch to synchronize your database and the file systems, you have to run the auto-configs. Now, with the WebLogic, there's a reduced role. But then if you want more information, I can get that to you from our DBA team. So you would, the bottom line, what I'm trying to say here, you will not need to run auto-config as much.
Great, thank you. The next one is, what is the best way to learn the cumulative functional changes going from 12.1.3 to 12.2.9?
So there's a document, I believe, and then if you can email me, I can send you that. But then there is a document on the MOS Oracle support which highlights the changes. So what are the new features in 12 to 9, 12 to 10, as well as the cumulative effect. And I have that information, so if you want to just email that to me, I can get that to you. So I have a complete list of that.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and we will include your contact information when
Sure.
this is posted so people can follow up. The
Absolutely.
next one I'm going to send because it's a little longer. We are on 12.1.3. If we plan to do 12.2 upgrade, will all of the customizations, personalizations, extensions be automatically upgraded to 12.2? Does anything need to be recreated?
That's a heavy question. So why? Because it really depends on how the code is written. Okay, so I just want to take some time to elaborate this. So when you, I also want to give some technical example, right? So there are two things happening in an upgrade. So either your table changes, or there are some few columns added, or your API changes and there are few columns added. So you will need to make sure that your new code is compliant with the new technical architecture. The second thing, the code itself. So a lot of people have a habit of like aliasing the SQL. So use like statements like select star from PO headers all, right? So now once you do that, what it means in 12.1.3 is go to the PO table and get me the column value. But now because now the database now addition to support online patching, that code becomes non-compliant. So all these SQLs may need to be retrofitted to use the app synonym. We don't recommend putting apps.PO all, but then you just use PO headers all. Don't qualify it with a table schema. So then that is the second type of change. So to answer your questions, I mean the personalizations and all the codes which you have in 12.1.3 will automatically go into 12.2, but they will be non-compliant. So you may need to take some action to make them compliant with 12.2. So it's but if your question is if your customization will be lost, no, they will not be lost. They will be brought over 12.2, and you will need to retrofit them. Other aspect of that is like if you have like all these JSP pages, like let's say you have some iSupplier settings, or you have some custom icons or custom things which you display your custom web pages. So what I've seen is the upgrade process does not bring those files, those logos or JPGs. So you will need to get them from your OA HTML folder, and you will manually need to put them on the upgrade. If you have, let's say, SFTP connections, or you're using like secure FTPs, all those keys you will need to bring manually to the new 12.2 environment. So this would be a part of your upgrade steps. And there are a few other things which you also need to do, but those are the major things which I see. I hope I mean we can talk on this for a long time, but that's my concise answer on that one.
Yes, thank you for taking the time to share that. We probably have, and I see that the person responded with thank you, so thank you again. We probably have enough time for one or two more questions. So just if we don't get to your question, we can follow up after with additional information. The next one is, what is required to plan to use command centers even if you do not plan to adopt them immediately?
So I always advise that, I mean, if you implement those as part of your upgrade, it will increase a little bit more of timeline. But if you want to take as baby steps, as I call them, so you do your upgrade, and then you can implement your enterprise command centers. So and then what is required is an additional server, and then you can get all the specifications from MOS. So there's a document for that, and there's a really good document on how to implement use the ECC. So
Great. The next one is, how does the development practice change in 12.2?
right, so again on 12.2 there's a document on MOS, which and then again if you have follow-up you can send those questions to me and I can answer them. But there's a document on MOS which highlights all the technical code changes or the coding standards for 12.2. So I mean the practice is still the same, but now you are not allowed to use like table name and the schema name qualification SQLs, and there are more changes on how you would deploy the web pages, mainly on the ADF side. So there is a, but then I recommend to all my clients refer to that document on MOS.
Great. I think we have time for just one more. And again, we'll
Sure.
follow up with the questions that don't get answered. The last one is, thanks for confirming online patching applicable for database patching. And follow-up question, what is the cutover downtime maximum for database in online patching?
So it can be, depends on, again, depends on how big your patch is, if you have a community patch, but it should not be, I mean, I say it's less than an hour, but always recommend customers to, if you want to do that, just communicate an hour's downtime. So that's maximum time it takes to restart your tier services, to do all your cleanups, and to do a cutover.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to answer all of these questions. So as a reminder, everyone will be posting this recording along with the slide deck in the knowledge base, which is available to OE2UG members. And again, that link is in the chat area. So I want to say a huge thank you again to Rahul for presenting this e-learning with OE2UG and joining us. This will conclude the webinar. So thank you all and have a wonderful rest of your day.